Tammy Sytch AKA Sunny, WWE's very first diva, the most downloaded woman in the year 1996. One of my childhood crushes. I'll freely admit that. Sunny was one of the prettiest girls I've ever seen in my life when she was younger, and really did a lot of things to bring me into manhood, if you will. And I know I'm not the only one out there. But not so much nowadays. Sunny has been on a collision course with rock bottom ever since departing the WWE, ever since Sable took her spot, essentially. Sable came in. She was the newer, shinier toy. And I think Sunny is a more beautiful woman than Sable. I never really thought Sable was all that. She's a little too hard for me. A little too, tone, I guess. Beefy. Fake. Sunny just looked like the girl next door. She was anything but the girl next door. She was like from the movie The Girl Next Door more than anything. Oh boy. But Sunny, of course, it was about a year ago now, right? That she had gotten herself arrested for drunk driving and crashed into the back of some old man's car at a stoplight, and the man ended up dying. And of course, if you think about it, you'd have to be hit pretty hard, even if you are a 70-year-old man. You'd have to be hit pretty goddamn hard in the back of the car. You'd have to be crashed into pretty goddamn hard. Sunny had to have been going a significant speed to have been able to essentially end this man's life upon impact. And it's sad too. It's a sad thing that this happened, but everybody kind of saw it coming. One person in particular who had spent some time around Sunny and will vouch for. This is something he just kind of was in the cards for Sunny all along, and is maybe the best thing for Tammy. Is Dutch Mantell. Check out this clip from his podcast, Storytime with Dutch Mantell, talking about Tammy Sytch's plea, as she has pled no contest. Then on the backside, we'll talk more about it and more about the plea, the no contest, and what kind of trouble she's looking at.
I like Tammy, but she's going to, and I've said this, she's going to kill somebody, and she did. And the reason she should be put away, because she will kill somebody else, or she will hurt somebody else, or she'll kill herself, which is probably I don't want to wish that on anybody, but she has to be protected from herself. And also, we got to protect people just driving around, going to the store. And she knows this, and she can bitch and moan, but I don't have any sympathy for her whatsoever. Here was a guy who got up one morning, he's a grandfather, 75 years old, driving down somewhere. And all of a sudden, here comes Tammy out of the blue. What town was this in Florida? It's on the beach somewhere.
I think it was like Volusia County was the county where I presume it happened, or where the court was. Is that not right?
Yeah, Volusia. I don't know where it is exactly. Okay. But he's sitting there, and here she comes, drunker than hell or doped up or whatever, and she hits him in the back and kills him. And now she had to be going 30, 40, 50 miles an hour. And he was stopped at a traffic light. So, and if he hadn't had a traffic light, she would have went through that and could have hit somebody else. That's what prison is for. Sometimes prison is to protect people from the person they put in jail, not for their punishment, but it's to protect people. In her case, I think that's definitely what they're thinking of. They need to put her out. And if they give her 20 years, I have no problem with it. Now, I don't know how old she is. She's about 50, right?
Around that age, yes. Volusia County is also just north of Orlando, by the way.
Okay. Well, so I know it was somewhere in Florida, but I have no sympathy for, and this is not the first time This has happened 6 or 7 other times, and I don't know why she wasn't put in jail before. So whatever happens to her, it's out of my hands. But I think she needs to get some serious time out of this. And if they just give her 10 years, I'm going to actually be disappointed, really, because 10 years, hell, she could kill a couple more people.
Yeah, she deserves what she gets. She's been arrested multiple times and still has not learned her lesson. This wasn't her first rodeo. This wasn't an oops, I messed up, I'll never do it again. This is Sunny's MO. I should say Tammy, whatever. This is something, she's just been a fucking car crash her whole life. Honestly, ever since, she's been in the WWE, she was trouble. Sleeping around in the locker room and shit like that, and all the poor things she did to Chris, and then the drugs, and then just one thing after another. And look, it's sad. I don't wish harm upon her, but it's kind of like Dutch said. I think this is good for her. This is what she needs now. She's looking at up to 25 years in prison, and she's 50 years old now. Or 50-ish, 50-something. So she's not going to get out until she's 70, 75 perhaps at max. Now, will she get the full 25? I think she should. Probably not, though. She pled no contest. So I am not a lawyer. I give no legal advice here. But I did research, as I am a podcast journalist, and here's what I came up with for you. So a no contest is essentially the same as a guilty plea. As far as an admission to guilt, that's essentially the difference. When you plead guilty, you're saying, yes, I did it. I am guilty. And that leaves you liable for the whole thing. When you plead no contest, you're accepting the charges. You're accepting the accusations, but you are just, You're not saying you didn't do it, I guess. You're just saying, I'm not contesting the charges. You are not admitting guilt. So essentially what this does, first of all, this is often offered as a plea deal, right? So this is to plead down. You're facing up to a whole lot of time in prison. Why don't you plead to this so we can get this whole thing wrapped up, get you off to jail, and we'll give you a nice lower sentence. And it also does give her protection from future civil lawsuits. Though I don't know that that's ironclad, but typically families can also come and try to sue you after the fact. The family of this gentleman, their kids or whoever the fuck, can come and be like, you know what? I also want to sue you for $1 million. And because you admitted that you were guilty and responsible for his death, you will probably have to pay it. But when you plead no contest, you did no such thing. You did not admit that you did anything. You simply just didn't argue the charges or accusations either. So it's going to be a lesser charge. I think she needs at least 10 years out of this, right? This cannot be a slap on the wrist, 2 years, 3 years, and you're out. She killed a man. And she's a repeated offender. This is a perfect example of throw the book at you. But with the plea and everything, I would hope she gets at least 10 years. That's what I would like to see. 15 with possibility of parole in 8. Something similar to that. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but I do think she needs some serious time. I think Dutch is 100% correct for her own good, for the public's safety. She won't learn. She needs to be, there's no rehabilitating this woman. You just gotta rip the Band-Aid off, and that's what prison's for sometimes. So, as Dutch said, to kind of protect us from her from herself. It's sad, though. It's sad to see that we've come to this. I never like to see these fall from grace type things, especially with people from my childhood, and especially with the wrestling business. Every single one of wrestling has fought so hard to crawl out of the depths of the it's just one thing after another, right? Owen Hart's death and steroids and Chris Benoit, and it's just never ends. So Jimmy Snuka's murder, there's so many bad stories, and even the Vince McMahon scandals now, wrestling just gets a really nasty rap. So the more bad publicity that it ends up getting, the worse that it is for the business. So this is definitely not good, but hopefully justice will be served, and Tammy she's proven that she's not willing to change or be helped. So now she just needs to live her life where she can't hurt people anymore. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, though, if you got a different take on it, or you just want to add to my thoughts, or you want to opine on the many of time spent in your bedroom, coming into a sock and throwing it under your bed, staring at the Sunny poster that you took 7 hours to print off of your printer. Let me tell you something, brother. You can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on this channel, dude. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to take your vitamins and say your prayers, brother.